ask a question real quick. Is there anybody here who does not know somebody who is transgender? Okay, everybody here knows someone who is transgender. Everybody here knows someone who is gay or lesbian. Okay. Just thought I'd, not to put anybody on the spot or anything, but just sometimes I like to know who I'm speaking with. As a licensed professional counselor, I see young people as well as adults who identify as gay, who identify as transgender, and have a lot to say about House Bill 2. Not very good things about House Bill 2. Many younger people don't necessarily understand why it has to happen. There are already kids who have to deal with bullying, name-calling, fights, and things like that in their own schools. And just speaking in generally in the state. Fortunately, in Cabarrus County here, there has been a lot of growth as far as having a gay-straight alliance in each of the high schools in this county, as well as several of the middle schools. Are there some elementary school too? No, just the middle schools, okay. Offering support and having a safe place, knowing that there are safe faculty members for the young people who go to that school is incredibly important, because there are kids who go to school and don't go to the bathroom all day long. I'm not sure how they do that, because I know I can't do that, but all day long while they're at school, they do not go to the bathroom because they're concerned about what's going to happen to them. Am I going to get hurt? Am I going to get beat up? Am I going to get thrown out? Am I going to get ridiculed? So there is a lot of fear and concern among young people about what's going to happen to them. The adults, many adults have been like, I've been fine, and then this House Bill 2 thing came along, and it's ruined everything because now everybody's all hypersensitive about it. Nobody ever noticed me before. There's a lot of mixed feelings about it. The bottom line is the message that it sends to the people who it is, at whom it is aimed. And it is a hateful message. It is a hurtful message. And it is not easy to live a life with peace and serenity when you hear this hateful message all the time. There are other cities like Charlotte who have passed ordinances or similar policies, however they decide to define it, to have equal rights for all of their citizens, including gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender citizens of those cities, and including using the bathroom of a person's choice. And there are no problems. There are no reported problems. There are no reported problems of people being attacked or anything like that in the bathrooms, except for maybe people who think somebody's transgender and they attack them and pull them out of the bathroom, and sometimes they're cisgendered people. They're not even transgender because they think they have to take it on themselves to do this. It's not a great place to live, and that place where people are living is in fear, and that happens on both sides. People act out when they are full of fear, and sometimes when people are full of fear, they can't even predict what they're going to do themselves. So a lot of the psychological and mental health impact is on everyone and make some people do crazy things because of that impact. But what's important is that we need to do what it takes to stand up for those who are marginalized most, picked on, threatened, bullied, and taken advantage of because of this political opportunity. A political opportunity to do whatever it is. I'm not going to try and guess what anybody's motives are about this. But it is nothing but fear-mongering and hateful towards people who don't deserve it. So there are things that we can all do to be supportive. We can get involved in a local PFLAG organization because a lot of the organizations are there to help. A lot of the organizations that are there to help families and parents understand their family members, adults and children alike, who might identify somewhere as gender variant or might identify as gay or lesbian. And to be there and to support those people and to let them know that I'm here, you're here, and I'm here for you. And to try and help, one of the things I try to do with my clients is help them focus on what they can do instead of what they cannot do. To know who their support people are, whether it is at home, and if it's not at home, where else that might be. To let them know who the safe people are at school to talk to if something happens, if something explodes, if a bunch of kids get this certain desire to be mean and start bullying you, that there is a place where you can go. There is always something you can do. There are a couple of programs out there these days that have little buttons that say, I'll go with you, creating kind of a buddy system. And it has the blue, white, and pink transgender flag on the button, and in the middle it says, I'll go with you, so that the people who need to know what it means will know. And will know that they have a safe person to go to the bathroom with, no matter what happens with this election, no matter what happens with this bill. It has awakened the monster in many people. And those people are there, and they will always be there. We're not necessarily going to be able to change a lot of people's minds. However, what we can do is teach ourselves and those we love and those who are most marginalized how they can manage to get through a lot of this hatred, this sad, terrible language. And one of the things I will close with is sometimes there's a bunch of people down in South Carolina. They're called the gender benders. They're in my parents' or my family's town, Greenville, South Carolina. And a couple of them have written a little workbook, a journal kind of book, to kind of help keep things more on a positive note instead of letting those negative folks drag them down, to not let them drag us down, to not let them drag anybody else down, and to offer these tools to other people. And I actually have a copy of the workbook if anybody knows someone who might want a copy. On the second page is a love letter. And sometimes that's what we need to make sure is not missing from this equation. Because a lot of times this type of hate speech, this type of action, this type of law kind of stomps all over love and remembering that love and the power of love, especially over the power of fear. So I'm just going to read this, close with this. A love letter to you from us. And this is from the authors of the people who wrote the journal. It is our sincerest hope that you feel the love in this journal, this group, and in your life. We had you in mind as we wrote each page. Sometimes we have to deal with the hard stuff. Sometimes our hearts get heavy, and sometimes we have a hard time being nice to ourselves. This hopefully helpful, handy handbook was designed to be used as a tool to help you get through those rough days and trudge ahead and find your happiness. You were beautifully and wonderfully made. There is nothing wrong with you, even if some people have told you there is. Those people are dumb. You are not. Even though we may not know you yet, we already love you. No matter where you are in your journey or where you are headed, we want you to know that you are valuable and worthy of love. These pages are safe places to be completely honest with yourself. No one ever has to explore them. But we want you to know you are not alone. If you are a trans, gender variant, LGBT person in the upstate of South Carolina or anywhere else, and you need support, feel free to email us at such and such address at any time. Life is better when you do it together. We love you, and we hope you find something just for you in this hopefully helpful, handy handbook for happiness with a hint of humor. With love and hugs, Ivy Hill and H.P. Page. And those are the two women who wrote it. I believe Ivy is now very active in the Southern Equality campaign, as well as being one of the gender benders. So if anything that I would like to leave you with when something like HB2 comes along, for you, for the people in your life, and for those who you walk along beside of who are hurt or harmed or saddened by what's going on, stand beside them, walk with them, help them keep their eyes on the horizon.